So let's begin the class. Uh, we are discussing the job essays, ideas for the job essays, and the essay handling classes I've already taken. So those of you who haven't attended those, I would request you to go through those videos. If you need, I can share them with you. Just send me a message. So the first essay in front of you is a problem solution essay. And this essay is there both in the academic book as well as in the GT book. People aim to achieve a balance between their work and lives, but few people achieve it. What are the causes of this problem? How to overcome it? So basically, it is an essay on work-life balance, and it says that very few people can achieve a balance between their work and their personal lives. Okay. So why do people fail to achieve a work-life balance? First, mobile technology or the cell phones has made people available all the time for work, even when they are at home. So this is one reason. They are always connected to their work. And that is why they cannot, when they are at home, they cannot be fully for their home or for themselves. They are connected. They can be called anytime. Second, consumerism and materialism have led to this workaholism. So there is consumerism, materialism, and this has led to them becoming workaholics. Workaholics means all the time doing work or thinking about work. That is, this word is very nice, workaholism. How I teach it? Alcohol. What does alcohol do? It does nasha. You get that kick out of drinking it. So work, the kick out of doing work, that is workaholism. Okay, like that shopaholicism, which get the people who get kick out of doing shopping, shopaholics, workaholics. They are people. Okay, brandaholic, uh, those who run after brands. Okay, that is brandaholic. So third point is people cannot achieve a work-life balance because the definition of a work-life balance is different for different people. What works for one person may not work for another. So work-life balance, the definition is different. For some, work is life. So doing work all the time, they think that they are managing their work and life. Okay. For others, the not being able to give enough time to the family is what doesn't work. They call it they think that they are doing too much work and are not being able to achieve a work-life balance. So this definition is different for different people. What is the importance of work-life balance? First, it is important to achieve a balance between work time and leisure or family time. Workaholics may neglect their families and friends. Second, too much work can result in stress and poor health. People need to take regular holidays. And third, a good work-life balance can raise job satisfaction. Happy, healthy workers are more productive at work. What are the solutions? First, people must try to introspect and see what makes them happy and then set priorities in life. When they come home from work, they must learn to switch the office button off. People should adopt downshifting, which means reducing one's standard of life for an improved quality of life. And that would result in more spare time and reduced workloads. So these are the solutions. So I hope this essay is clear. This is a very important essay seen very often in the IELTS. Okay. The next essay is some employers want to be able to contact their staff at all times, even on holidays. Does this development have more advantages than disadvantages? So doing the first essay, obviously you will write that disadvantages are more, and that is what exactly I've written in this. Disadvantages are more. You can make it a total 4 para essay, in one para the advantages and in one para body para the disadvantages, and just make that disadvantages para with one extra point. Okay. And that would be all. Or you can make it a 5 para essay with one body paragraph for advantages and two for the disadvantages. Okay. So what are the advantages of employers being able to always contact staff? What are the advantages? First, a person can work anytime and from anywhere. This means that he doesn't need to be in the office during the regular 9 to 5 hours. This is especially helpful for on the go business owners. Okay. So, on the go businesses are like wherever you go, you do business over there. That is not, so you have to be, you may not be in the staff regular 9 to 5. You may be anywhere doing field work and yet you may be able to contact your staff. That is a plus point. This leads to better relations between employer and employees, employers and employees. So there are better relations between the employers and employees. And next is this sometimes this helps the employee to be more creative and productive. So employees can be more creative and productive because then they may be anywhere and they may be doing some work there, but they are being able to they can be contacted for any urgent scenario. In some emergency situations requiring immediate attention, critical decisions can be taken without any delays. If there are any situations requiring immediate attention, then critical decisions can be taken without any delays. Disadvantages of employers being able to always contact staff. First, it is one of the leading causes of work-life imbalance, being able to be contacted. So work-life balance cannot be there. The employee may always be stressed about the fact that the employer can call them anytime, and so they are not able to enjoy anything um, completely. Okay. This may also create a rift in the employee-employer relationship. Fourth, the employee may not be able to cope with the stress, which not only affects the productivity and efficiency at work, but also leads to many health related problems like hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, and so on. Such employers are more likely to be resented by others at the workplace. And again, this will add to the pressures and anxieties they are already dealing with. So these are the disadvantages. I hope the points are clear. If there's anything you need me to elaborate, I'll be happy to do it. All right then. These are two essays, similar ideas. These days, many people leave their country to work abroad and take their families with them. Do you think the benefits of this outweigh the disadvantages in terms of family development? Nowadays, many families move overseas for job opportunities and take their children along with them. Some people think that this is beneficial for the children of these families, while others think children will find it difficult. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Now, first essay is on the, families as a whole, even the, life partner, spouse. Second is only about the children. Okay, take their children and, advantages and disadvantages to the children. So, advantages to the children. First, children have more bonding with the family. Okay. Children left behind by migrant parents lack emotional support and can have psychological issues. Second, they get international exposure as they are exposed to various cultures as people from various countries immigrate to those developed countries. They also get a better education and can get better placed in life later on. So all these are the points which go in favor of, which are the advantages to the children, which go in favor of taking the children along with them. Okay. Disadvantages to the children. These children find it challenging to adapt to the sudden change in culture and language. They are exposed to a foreign culture on the one hand and forced by parents to stick to their traditions on the other hand. This can be very confusing for them. They also feel insecure and isolated if they are not fluent in English. So these are the disadvantages to the children. First, advantages. Second are the disadvantages. And then there are disadvantages for the family of going abroad without family. Okay. Disadvantages of going abroad without family. There is less bonding with spouse and kids. Some couples finally end up in divorce as one or both of them cannot endure the long-term separation. Some feel homesick and lonely and return home, thereby missing the golden opportunity of working abroad. So these are the disadvantages of going abroad with family. Then there are disadvantages of going abroad. Uh, Living with family members abroad uh, means more expensive. A single person can share a room. So this is without family, going abroad without family. This is with family. The living with family members abroad means more expenses. A single person can share a room with someone in the initial stages, but a family needs a proper house. So these are the disadvantages of going abroad with family, and then there are disadvantages of going abroad without family. So I hope the ideas are clear. Do you wish me to explain any point further or any word that you didn't understand?
No, ma'am, it's clear, ma'am.
Yeah. In many countries, more and more young people are leaving school but are unable to find jobs. What problems do you think youth unemployment causes for individuals and the society? What measures should be taken to reduce the level of unemployment among youngsters? So this essay is on, you know, that young people who complete their school. Here, there is a little catch, leaving school. Leaving school can be completing their school and leaving, like past graduating from school. It can also mean dropping out from school. So dropout is not completing school and dropping out. And they are not being able to find jobs. Now, the essay is that youth unemployment, what problems youth unemployment causes to individuals and the society. This is a problem solution essay on youth unemployment and what measures should be taken to reduce the level. So, what first is the do you okay? Now, let me know in any problem solution essay, three things can be asked: causes of something, effects of something, and the solutions of something. What two things are asked here? Cause out of the three, causes, effects, and solutions. What are the two things that are asked here? Let me know the two things
Ma'am,
that
causes and solutions.
causes and solutions. Okay. Read the second sentence of the topic again. This one.
What problem do you think unemployment causes for individual and society? Okay, can it be effects? What effects does individuals and society will have?
Is the effects, it is saying what problems do you think this causes? The word causes is here, na? So
Yeah,
that's
ma'am.
why students get confused. If you will write the causes instead of the effects, the task achievement you will not get a good score for task achievement. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So that would go completely wrong. So I'm happy this is clear for you today now that this is the effects and not the causes. So whenever you get a problem solution essay, do read it 2, 3 times to understand what has been asked. Otherwise, it will go wrong. All right. So, effects of unemployment on young people, effects of unemployment on society, and the solutions. This is the essay, okay, not the causes. First, psychological consequences like loss of identity and self-esteem. Maybe their young people may, they feel a loss of identity and self-esteem if they are unemployed. Those without any source of earnings may find themselves homeless. Increased stress because of family and social pressure. The family also causes pressure. Na? Now your education is complete, go out and earn something. What will the young person earn if he's not getting any job? Okay. People with a history of unemployment face fewer career development opportunities and lower wages. And jobless people may become involved in illegal activities as a means to get money. So these are the effects of unemployment on young people. These are the 5 effects. And effects of unemployment on society. There is increased poverty. Poverty, which is a result of unemployment, also leads to many problems like diminished health standards, increased crime. Young people are energetic, and if their energy is not channelized in the right direction, then violence and crime increase in the society. Okay. What are the solutions? The solutions is first is education system reform must be there. Many people are without jobs and many jobs are without suitable people. So what is happening is that students are running after each other and going to the same course. So what is happening? Like when my children, my son and daughter are 5 years apart. When my daughter got into engineering college, when she did her +1 and +2, +1, there were 2 sections for engineering and 5 for medical. When she went into engineering college way back in 2005. When my son went to engineering college after 5 years, in his +1 and +2 class, there were 7 sections of non-medical engineering and 2 of medical. So, students, they run after each other. Okay, let's all do this, let's do this. So the courses become more popular like that. And then, there is shortage of people in some jobs, and for other jobs, there are a lot of people, but the jobs are not there. So this thing can be tackled if the education reform, system reform is there, and there is good counseling as to which subjects students should take. Government should provide subsidies to those firms that take on unemployed people. So subsidies should be given to those firms which give employment to unemployed. Government can encourage self-employment by giving loans to young people who want to be entrepreneurs. Then control of birth rate, fewer children to care for and feed can also, reduce some problems. And government can create jobs by setting up agriculture and cottage industries such as carpets, mats, soaps, in which, young people can be employed. So these are the solutions to unemployment. Okay. So the next essay is that employers should give the staff at least 4 weeks holidays a year to make employees do better at their jobs. To what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? So this is about the holidays that the staff are entitled every year, and to make them better. So here I have agreed in my essay, and in that I've written that this not only benefits the employees but also benefits the employers. Then one paragraph you can make on benefits to the employees and one paragraph on benefits to the employers. So advantages of at least 4 weeks of holidays a year to the employees. First, there is better mental health and lower stress if the employees get 4 weeks of holidays. Due to long working hours and lack of holidays, many employees are under a lot of stress. 4 weeks of holidays would enable people to recharge their batteries and refresh themselves. Second, it promotes a work-life balance. It would give people time to spend with families and go on vacations and pursue their hobbies. Many companies are facing attrition because employees are unable to balance their personal life and their professional life, and thus such a step would go a long way in reversing this trend. So these are the 2 points of advantages. And second, um, advantages to the employees. The second para, you can give advantages to the companies. First, companies which offer holidays would be more attractive to job seekers. In other words, such initiatives would help companies recruit better talent. Second, increased work efficiency and productivity. Regular yearly breaks would reduce stress and thus help employees to concentrate better on their work. Third, if employees feel cared about and important, it would also improve customer satisfaction, as customer satisfaction depends largely upon employee moods and their working conditions. Fourth, employees taking vacations means other employees get a chance to handle their responsibilities. This promotes knowledge transfer between staff and decreases the risk that vital information is lost when a key employee leaves the company unexpectedly. So these are advantages to the companies, 4 weeks holidays to the companies, advantages to the employees. So a strongly one-sided essay, strongly agree essay that 4 weeks of holidays makes the employees do better at their jobs. I hope the ideas are clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, facing attrition means.
Attrition is when many people leave the jobs. Okay. So
Mm,
that is attrition when the jobs, and laid off is also attrition mainly is. So the process of reducing someone's strength or effectiveness through sustained attack on pressure, and that is one. And then the gradual reduction of a workforce by employees leaving. So this is reduction of the workforce by employees leaving. Okay. So
okay,
and
ma'am.
that is attrition. Next essay is, nowadays many people have to work longer hours and they feel more stressed out than before. What are the reasons for stress at the workplace? What can employers do to make their employees' life easier? So, causes of stress in the workforce. First, excessively high workload with unrealistic deadlines. Second, insufficient workload leads employees to think that employers are undervaluing their potential. So, first cause of stress in the workplace is that there is excessively high workload and the deadlines are also unrealistic, and that causes stress. And second is when the employees are sitting idle, no work to do, there is insufficient workload, and they think that their employers are undervaluing their potential. They can do a lot, but they are not being asked to do anything. Third cause of stress is bad rapport with colleagues. Rapport is talmel, but you know that relations. Fourth, being given a job for which the employee has no experience or training. So that can also lead to stress. Fifth, there is lack of job security if the employees all the time, if under fear of being laid off. Okay. Pay may be less than the magnitude of work. Too much, too high work, and the pay related to that amount of work may be much less. And the seventh point is there may be bullying or harassment by management. And eighth is poor physical working environment, such as excessive heat, cold or noise, inadequate lighting, uncomfortable seating, and so on. So all these points can cause stress in the workplace. Then steps which can be taken by employers to reduce workplace stress. First, employers should reduce employees' workload. They should ensure that their employees' targets are challenging but realistic. Um, Employers should make sure that employees take their full holiday entitlement. They should check that individuals are well matched to the jobs they have got and provide them any training they may need. Employers should vary the work of employees to break the monotony. They should ensure that the workplace is comfortable. So, these are the steps which can be taken by employers to reduce the workplace stress. Steps which can be taken by employees to reduce workplace stress. First, they should take frequent breaks and relax. They should realize that the opposite of stress is relaxation and should avoid working during coffee and lunch breaks. A little exercise every day is a good stress buster. Getting a full night's sleep and a healthy diet is also a step which can, reduce the stress at the workplace, because then you are, totally relaxed while working. So this is the essay, and this is about stress at the workplace and problem solution essay. And this is a very important essay. This has been seen many times in the exam. So I hope the essay is clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This essay is on dress code. Dress code is like uniform at the workplace. In school, we just call it uniform, but if it is at the workplace, we call it a dress code. Okay. Advantages of dress code at the workplace. First, a dress code makes the company look professional in the eyes of its clients. The way customers perceive a company is important for the type and amount of business it does. Second, when all employees are in similar dress, they feel united, because of which they tend to work with more dedication. A dress code also helps to differentiate ranks and positions within the workforce. For example, in a hospital, the dress code helps to tell apart doctors and nurses. A dress code is also very important for keeping employees safe from injury. For example, protective clothing, lab coats, gloves, and headgear ensures employees' safety when working with chemicals or other machines. A dress code is also very beneficial for other places of service such as food factories or grocery stores, as it portrays a feeling of cleanliness and also ensures the safety of consumers. Having a uniform also reduces employee confusion. A clear dress code means they don't have to wonder what to wear or whether something would be appropriate to wear to work. So these are the points for advantages of dress code at the workplace. Then the disadvantages of dress code, it can become very boring to wear and maintain the same clothes daily. The uniform may not be very comfortable to wear. It means it mars the creativity of employees. Mars is reduces, spoils. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the dress code. So in this essay, this is an advantages, disadvantages essay. You have to write both sides, but in the introduction, you can write that while there are a few disadvantages, the advantages are far more. And then go on to make one para on disadvantages and two paras on the advantages. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Next essay is, some people prefer to be self-employed, whereas others like working for companies or institutions. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of both approaches. Which do you think is a better approach? So here it is on self-employment versus working for companies. And you have to write about the advantages and disadvantages of both approaches. Advantages of self-employment, it offers greater flexibility than working for a company. So if you are self-employed, you can go to work a bit late, you can leave the workplace a bit late or a bit early if you want to. There is flexibility. Self-employed people decide their own paycheck. So, if you are self-employed, you decide how much you want to earn, you decide that. That means if you want to do more work, you can take on more. If you want to earn more, you can take on more work. Nowadays, it is easy to set up a company. Young entrepreneurs are being encouraged by loans from the government, and the internet provides a global marketplace. So nowadays, it is the most important time to be able to do your own work, because the government is also supporting entrepreneurship. They are giving subsidies and loans to people who, want to set up their own business. And the internet is a global marketplace. You can sell your product. If the self-employed person does well, he gets all the credit. But if he works for someone, the employer gets the credit. So here it is, the credit comes to you if you work well. But if you are working for someone, you do well, the credit goes to the employer. Disadvantages of self-employment. Self-employed people may face financial difficulties. Many businesses fail to make a profit. There is less stability in self-employment. There are no benefits like pensions, sick pay, and holiday pay. Self-employment involves hard work, long hours, and total responsibility. So these are the disadvantages of self-employment. So you can give advantages and disadvantages of self-employment in one paragraph and advantages and disadvantages of working for a company in the other paragraph. And that way you can make a 4-para essay. So if you have to write advantages and disadvantages of both things, you can, write advantages of self-employment, comparing it with the disadvantages of, working for a company, because they'll be the same points. Okay. And you can write disadvantages of self-employment and advantages of working for a company also together, comparing with each other, because the points will be almost the same. So advantages of self-employment we have just read, okay? And disadvantages, financial difficulties, less stability, less benefits, and long hours, hard work, total responsibility. These are the disadvantages. So advantages of working for a company: employees don't have to make any investment and so have nothing to lose. They also get hands-on training in companies. If the company does well, the employee gets bonuses and perks from time to time. Employees get their regular paycheck even if the company is going into a loss. Working for a reputed company is a status symbol. What are the disadvantages of working for a company? There is no freedom. The employees always have to work under someone. There is always a limit on the salary. Companies may let employees go without any notice. So these are the disadvantages of working for a company. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of uh, being self-employed and working for companies or institutions. Okay. What do you think? What would you write, which is a better approach?
Self-employed.
Well, you can say that I would write that if in the early years of one's career, when one is fresh, one should do a job for some time and then gain the know-how and then open one's own thing. Because immediately starting when you're very fresh and you don't know the world of business, you may face problems. But anyways, you can write anything. Okay, you've given all the points. Promotions to higher levels should be from within a company and not to new person from outside. Do you agree or disagree? So when there is a promotion has to be done in a company, the essay says that it should be from within a company and should not be should not a new person should not be hired from outside. So what are the and they say it should be from within and not to a new person. You have to agree or disagree. The same essay can come in the discuss format. Some people say promotions should be from within a company. Other people say the new person should be hired from outside. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So the essay remains the same. The points remain the same. Handing can be different. Now, this is in the agree disagree format. So you can give a while statement and write both the points. You can say, while there are a few benefits of hiring from within, the drawbacks of hiring from within are far more than a person. So like that, you can write, and your essay will be two-sided. You can write a completely one-sided essay if it is an agree disagree format. There are ideas for both. So we'll go through the ideas. Benefits of hiring from within. It is quicker and the transaction is seamless. Internal employees are already familiar with the company and aware of its operations and business methods. Second, it results in higher productivity as employees feel that they will be rewarded for their extra effort and work hard. Third, it is great for the morale of the employees when they see that there are opportunities for growth within the company. Fourth, it is cheaper as there is no need for advertisements, training, and interviews. Fifth, older employees are more loyal to the company, whereas a new hire may not stick around. There is less risk when companies promote internally as they are already familiar with the work style and ethics of the employee. A new hire may not fit the role and may have to be laid off or fired after a few months. So these are the points for benefits from hiring from within. Then there are drawbacks of hiring from within. Sometimes the established policy of hiring from within makes some employees feel that they are entitled to promotion just because they have spent time with the company. Second, this can hurt the feelings of other employees who are not promoted. They may feel that they deserved the position better. Third, companies may miss out on the new and creative ideas an outside candidate may bring. So, advantages of hiring from within and drawbacks of hiring from within. Is any point difficult, which I can, then
No, ma'am.
all right, good. Many students take part-time jobs while studying at universities. Do you think it is a positive or negative development? Now, this is an essay on part-time jobs during university education. There is a difference if this essay comes for high school students. The points can be a bit different. Uh, this is for university students and doing part-time jobs. Okay. Advantages of students taking part-time jobs while studying at universities. First, extra cash from the part-time work lets the student cover the cost of living more comfortably and also partly fund their education. Second, students who earn their own money learn to budget and spend it wisely as it is their hard-earned money. Third, this also instills some discipline in the life because they have to manage time effectively so that their studies don't suffer. Fourth, when students work in their after college hours, they do not indulge in any violence, crime, and drugs. Fifth, these jobs can provide valuable on the job training that will make the students much more competitive once they graduate from college. They also develop a network of friends doing different courses and from diverse backgrounds. This network may help them later on in their work lives. So these are the advantages of students taking part-time jobs while studying at universities. And the disadvantages are it leads to stress as students cannot strike a balance between work and study. Employment may affect the student's sleep time, which may result in absenteeism from classes. The student may not get time for socializing and other activities. Part-time work may distract the student from their studies. So these are the points, these are the disadvantages. So advantages and disadvantages of part-time job while studying at universities. Okay. This essay is on teenagers and part-time jobs. Okay, in many countries, teenagers are encouraged to do part-time jobs. What's the situation like in your country? What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of doing part-time job? This is for part-time job for teenagers. So that will involve, when they are in the school, high school, secondary school. Then they are teenagers. 13 to 19 years is teenage. So in whichever age teen word comes, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's teenage. So advantages of part-time job for teenagers. First, it teaches them skills such as communication skills and teamwork that will prepare them for careers in adulthood. So first point is that they learn communication skills and teamwork. Second, they acquire confidence, develop a sense of responsibility, and feel more independent. Third, earning money enables them to learn about budgeting and money management. Fourth, students who work a moderate amount, no more than 10 to 15 hours a week during the school years, tend to earn higher grades than those who don't work at all. Fifth, they can save for college and don't have to take big loans or financial help from their parents. Sixth, it is a constructive use of their free time and they are less likely to get in trouble. What are the disadvantages? Working more than 13 to 20 hours a week is associated with lower grades. Teens who work too many hours find it difficult to keep up with extracurricular activities and social relationships. Some studies have found that teens who work long hours are more likely to engage in such risky activities as using illegal drugs or alcohol, in part because they are exposed to older co-workers who lead them astray. Early entry into a negative or harsh work environment may encourage negative views of work. And fifth, they miss out on the fun of being young. They have a whole lifetime in which they have to earn a living. So these are the drawbacks for teenagers. Now you can see the points are a little different from the earlier essay here. We did, part-time job while studying at universities. This is teenagers and part-time jobs. This is part-time jobs while studying in schools, right? So please see which essay you get and write accordingly. Okay. Some people think that managers alone should make decisions in the company, while others think that employees should be involved in the decision-making process. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Now, this is a sample introduction I have made of the discuss essay. Okay. Which is, the essays in front of you. It's very easy to make a discuss essay introduction. Some people think, for that you can say it is believed by some, that managers alone, that only the top level employees are managers, should make decisions in the company, should make decisions in the organization. So you can see then while, whereas, I've changed the while to whereas, others assert that employees should be involved, that junior level employees should also have a say in decision making process of the company. So you can see that if the topic is in front of you, making the introduction is very easy. And trust me for that, if you don't make any other mistake in this, the introduction will definitely go a 7 or 7 plus. In this essay, I will discuss both views. I personally side with the latter view or former view. You can write latter is piche wala, former is pehle wala. If whatever view you side with, you write here that one. Is it clear? Discuss essay intro.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So first is in favor of managers taking decisions. Managers have years of experience and are well aware of the company's goals and policies. Second, confidential matters should be shared only among the top personnel of the organization, as only the top managers know the loopholes and trade secrets of a company and can handle the challenges of the organization better. Second, in favor of involving employees in decision making, actively engaging workers in the decision making process increases their overall morale and they work with a positive attitude. Second is participation in the decision making process improves the relationship between managers and employees and also encourages a strong sense of teamwork among workers. Own opinion is that decision pertaining to various policy matters of the organization should be taken by the top management and have a long-term impact on the functioning of the concerns. However, operating decisions relating to the day-to-day functioning or operations of the business can be left to the employees. So these are the points in, decision-making process of the company, whether only the top level employees should do it or the bottom level, junior level employees should be taken into consideration. So this is a class for today. We've covered quite a few essays today. I hope we'll be completing this job essays, I think, on Thursday for sure. And then we'll be beginning with the education essays next. I hope these ideas are being helpful to you. Definitely, many students, when they come out, they tell, ma'am, ideas nahi pata chalte, ideas nahi aate dimag mein. And this is a good way. You can, attend these ideas classes, and this also teaches you brainstorming, how you can think of the ideas. Okay. All right, then. See you tomorrow for the speaking class. On
Thank you, ma'am.
Thursday, we have
Yes,
the
ma'am.
class. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.